So my mission today is to inspire, to create change in your world, even if it's just that little bit. So I hope you allow me and bless me to do that journey. So, what actually, let's get some science in here now, what actually drives you to take action? One person? Just put your hand up. And your name? Imagine. Please. Fear of loss, which is an away from energy, isn't it? So yes, a fear of loss as well. One more person? Success. Success drives you to take action, isn't it? Yeah? But I'm fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of failure. So away from energy?
Heartache.
Heartache. See, there's a bit of a commonality, isn't there? Besides yours. Yeah. But we've got a commonality here. The question I'm asking is what truly makes us take action. So it's beyond and below and underneath. What is the foundation behind that? There's a gentleman called Alfred Korzybski. Korzybski, he's a Polish-American. If you've read, have you heard of him? Second person in over 200 keynotes who said, I've known. I'd like to. Thank you. Because Alfred Korzybski wrote a beautiful book in 1933, and it's called Science and Sanity. It's a damn hard book to read, but boy, has it reframed the whole of psychology and modern psychology as we know today. You will find little paragraphs that have been made into complete philosophies. That's how powerful this thing is. He goes on to say, we are meaning-making machines. So we are a machinery that does nothing but make meaning of the capital. Sitting here, putting my hand up, not putting my hand up, it's somebody else's. There's a meaning. The meaning behind loss, behind deceit, behind the toward and away from energies. I want to go deeper. Before any action to do, and before any action not to do. That sounds really odd, doesn't it? How can you have an action not to do? How's that an action? Tried it once, it's failed. Yeah. But in context, thank you for that. In context, that means, or does it mean, that the action to do and not to do is actually the same. We're actually going through the same process to not do something than we are to do. Because he goes on and says that nothing happens without a meaning. To not turn up here is an act as well. I decide to go somewhere else. There's a meaning, right? Every time a meaning is made, we were talking about automation earlier on. I'm giving you the secrets of automation. The moment you make a meaning, you will automatically take an action. Do you understand that? The moment you make a meaning, you automatically take an action. Without even thinking about it, an action is taken. Positively or negatively. To do or not to do. Behind every single action, you will automatically have a meaning assessed towards it. He goes on to say, who's heard this before? The map is not the territory. Who are our commercial traders here? Anybody train corporate? Okay, the map is not the territory is used very heavily within NLP. But it's not this. What's this? He wrote that. Who actually would like to have a go at explaining what that means? I'll move on then. I'll do it for you. Okay, the map is not the territory. What this means is basically, makes sense. That's yours over there, right? Cloud? It's yours, yeah? Okay. So this is, makes sense, cloud accountancy practice. The question I ask you, is that cloud accountancy practice? Does this actually make sense? Yeah. Yeah? Is this actually, do you go to work in this leaflet? I'm not trying to ridicule you, I'm saying, look, just trying to work something out. Do you actually go to work in this leaflet? No. No. So what is this then?
It's an emotional flyer.
An emotional flyer?
It's information.
Information. It's a representation. A representation of his company and his services that he delivers. Is that right? So now this, could this be the map? Well, it is. If this was a map of Birmingham, we're here physically, you draw it on the map of Birmingham. I thought there might be a map on that. So yeah, it would be a map of Birmingham. This wouldn't actually be Birmingham, would it? This would be clearly a representation of Birmingham. So it has coordinates on it. The point being, this map is actually your brain. It's your brain. So your brain is a representation of the outside world. Because no two people, whether we spend 24 hours a day together, will have the same version of the same world. We all have a different version. So what does this mean? Does this mean that we actually have a different version of the world, every single one of us? 100%. So where's this going with? Okay, so here's the map. Map is your mind, the territory is the world at large. Yeah? So the map is not the territory, is a clarification that my model of the world isn't the real world. Does that make sense? It's just a representation of what's around me. See, I'm not sitting on this chair. I'm standing behind it. So I can't have the same realization as a gentleman sitting over here. So, just as an example, Linda, what do you see here? A clicker. Please describe exactly what you see here. It's not a trick question, it's just an opening of understanding.
Piece of plastic.
Plastic.
Mechanism which allows you to.
Okay, so let's go one stage further. You see, he's going through mechanical processes. What do you physically see? Are there any buttons? Is there any chrome there?
It's a button which allows you to decide what.
Right. So now, what colour is that?
Silver.
So black. Yeah. Okay. Honey, what do you see?
A black
A black
control thing with
control thing.
with a yellow triangle at the back of the
Ah, yellow triangle.
and
Yeah.
a rectangle. Yeah.
And a yellow rectangle as well. So hang on a second. He's saying there's no yellow triangle or rectangle there. You're saying there's no buttons here. How could you not argue, really? It's just your representation of the same side, right? This is what happens in home arguments, in business arguments, in fallouts, in mediation. It's because you're not willing to see the other person's side of the world. But if I just did this, all of a sudden, you get a different version of the world, and you get a different version of the world. The point is, it's the same world, we see it from different aspects. This is what he's trying to say. The map is not the territory. Is that helpful? So is there a secret in it? The secret is, yes, to step outside of myself and actually look to see what other people are seeing first. This releases hidden potential. We have 4 different types, and I'm going to point them out to you very quickly here. Who's done disc psychometrics before? Yeah? Excellent. Excellent. So now I'm going to show you disc psychometrics slightly differently. Yeah? Still the same, but it's in the purity of this. What's the power of this? What's the point? Dominant, influencer, stability, and compliant, or compliance, otherwise known as hyperlist, depends on which school of thought you're running with. Personality types. The dominant type. Hey, Abby? You know I'm going to pick one. The dominant type are the people who have direct, strong will. Can be forceful, can also be less interactive, just straight to the point. They want to go exactly what they do. Does that make sense? And where's that? There he is behind him. He knows what I'm talking about. We have 2 differences, but somehow the business works beautifully. He's a compliant C. Influencers, sociable, talkative, high octane, great energy, great communicators, inherent networkers. Yeah? They love communicating, love sales. Steadiness, heart-centered, gentle, accommodating. They care for other people. And they get a kick from caring for other people, making sure you've got enough water, making sure you've got enough food, catering. The type of person who just comes to your desk and pops down a cup of tea because you've not asked for it. It's just the love that they want to share with you. Yeah? Start realizing that whether you're this type of person or not. Compliant, private, analytical, focused, planned, strategic, step by step. Very good for finance because there's all compliancy there. Interesting. My own daughter is studying compliancy. She's in financial, international finance. So. Is this helping at all? Just a little bit? Good. It's an internal. So here's the plus points of all of them. The direct dominant people are very, very good managing directors. They get straight to the point and drive. They usually have a problem though. They drive and they walk over people. They're not necessarily the nicest of people. And yes, you can start giggling by looking at some parts of the business. That's of nature. So yeah, I can get what you mean. Then we have the influencers, an amazing sales department. An amazing sales department called influencers. They connect with people very, very quickly. But their downside is they're sometimes a bit too much on the energy side, and they start a few companies or ideas and never tend to finish them. They start things and don't consistently become a serial starter. They don't necessarily close the deal or carry on to completion. So if those people in there, you're probably the first person to shake your head and say, yes, it's me, because you want the attraction. Yes, it's me. And then we have the steadiness people, which I shared before, who are great HR, community organisers within social constructs. And we have compliance people who are amazing accountability. So great the accountability, legal, etc. compliance. Yeah. Hope this is helping you a little bit. But the truth of the fact is that we must not box ourselves in. We are actually all full. Every one of them we're one. But then what's the secret? What goes on? How comes I'm saying there's a hidden key? The key is to truly understand. The key is to understand your natural and your adopted. And I'll explain what the natural and adopted is in a second. Yeah. Lovely hat. Nice relaxed attitude. Can't say he's toward people. No dominancy there. Natural is your internal state of affairs. My inside, how I represent, how my world inside is represented. External is your adapted, is how I adapt in this current situation. Does that make sense? So, if anybody gets in what we call a stressed situation, we tend to forget everything else and just act how we want to be. We show up in the world how we truly are. Does that make sense? So stressed information, stressed environments gives us that impetus. So in this situation, God forbid, if there was a fire here, let me give you an example of each one of those four people. The D dominant will turn around and say, can you get up, get out, just leave your stuff, get out, come on, out. And we're pushing people out of the door. The I will make the first check and see where's the commotion, who's moving where, and I'll slip in with them. That's kind of cool. I think I'll follow you guys. And the S will turn around and say, can you get up? And I'll say, oh, I've left my clicker on the desk. Don't worry, I'll go and get it for you. So they'll put themselves in harm's way. Less self-value. And they'll shoot over right next to the fire, and they'll fight the fire off because they want to pick that clicker up for you, because they promised they will get it for you. No self-value. And the C's is the fun part. They've already worked out the exit plan before they even come in the room. Compliance, strategy, and structure. So where's the fire exit? Okay, go ahead. Putting his hands up straight away. So where's the secret? Where's the benefit? The benefit is to truly understand your own internal. So many psychometrics I've seen where people don't separate adapted and natural. They just tell you you're adapted, and so this is what you're doing currently now. So you're mismatched in your current job or in your life, and you're thinking, why am I so low in energy? How comes I'm not focusing on things? How comes I'm starting so many things and not completing them? It's because we're not in the right job. We don't match our psychometric index. Yeah? So the purpose or the benefit would be to make sure you do an assessment which gets you to your inners first, to understand your natural way of seeing the world. Because trust me, if you're in your natural, you'll never feel down. You're always in flow. Does that make sense? You always feel energetic about what you're doing in your day.